What's happening, Andy? Here I am joined today by Mark Grice. Mark is with IBPI. How are you? What's happening, Mark?
I am wonderful, Andy. I'm not Andy Slawetsky level great, but I'm very close, very close.
Well, it was great to see you. The last time I saw you was down in Florida. You guys had a walkthrough at High Tech.
Yeah.
You had a board meeting down there, and of course, we were able to squeeze a little golf in. And
Yep.
what a great day! I got a little golf in real early this morning here. It's sunny, it's warm here, so we're finally getting to that time of year. There's my sunburn from it, and we got our
Yeah, we
IBPI
got
hats
we
on.
got some special limited
Thank you very
edition
much. Limited edition.
hats.
We will make
So
sure to get these to the right people. So, we last time I talked to you, you were just in the process of going through some stuff. You were doing your audits and getting your rebates ready. So, I think we're at that point. We're gonna talk today a little bit about the rebates. Before we start, just jumping in on everything, let's take a step back and why don't you give us the 30,000 foot view? Who is IBPI for those that don't know?
sure. So IBPI is the office equipment industry's largest buying group. We started in 87 with about 50 dealers that got together, and they actually went to Caton and said, hey, if we buy $1 million worth of parts, which was a lot back in 87, will you give us a good deal? And they did. And that was the formation of IBPI. So fast forward 36 years later, and we've grown from 50 members to about 525 office equipment dealers across the country, Canada, Caribbean. And we've grown from one partnership to about 37 different vendor partners that we have in our group now.
37 different vendors. So, and these are vendors that companies are doing business with every day. I mentioned we just saw you down there at High Tech. You
Yep.
were walking your board through. High Tech was a recent one that you signed up. You have lots of others. You mentioned Caton, Clover, I think, is one as well. Who are some of let's give some plugs. Who are some of your?
Yeah. So
Now you're in trouble
I
because
hate
you're
to
going to
I hate
forget
to
all.
leave anybody out, but
We'll
it's
put a link in there.
a lot of names that you've heard of. Yeah, you can go to ibpi.net/vendors and see the list of all of our partnerships that we have, and click on their links and go directly to their web pages. But we our newest vendor is High Tech, right there over your shoulder. We just visited them in Orlando, but we also have names everybody's heard of: Clover, Caton, Pollock and Pollock, CET Group, ConnectWise. We've probably got some that people have never heard of as well. Digitech Systems is a fairly new one that's a document management system. Evo B2B is our credit card processor. EDA is our sales lead generation. Modern sales training, Derek Chevy, great guy, does sales training. He is a part of our group. So there are lots. Andy, we try to think of anything that an office equipment dealer might use, and we try to set up a partnership for that service or product.
Well, you guys do a great job with connecting dealers and by the way, vendors. It's a great opportunity for vendors. If you're not one of these 37 vendors on that list, and you know me, I'm happy to get you in touch with Mark. It's a growing group. It has most of the dealers in our world are members, not all, but most. And now, we've got people on the board of all sizes. It was great seeing Doug Albrecht's there and Kevin from UTech, and we've seen Chip Maselli in the past, and Ekstrom and Bob Evans, and just a who's list of people on your board that have pitched in over the years to help keep things moving. And one of the things we talked about last time, I wanted to check in maybe and just find out how it's going is the swap meet, right? So you had set something up. It was very similar. It was similar to like the old swap sheets back in the day, right? I have this, somebody might want to buy it. So
Right.
why don't you tell us how it's going? First of all, explain what it is again.
Sure.
Because most of you, if you're at a dealership, chances are you're probably a member of IBPI. And so this is something that you guys are able to participate in. And so, Mark, explain that, please.
Yeah, so this is a service that's on the members only section of the IBPI website. You need to be logged in to be able to see it. We still have so many members contact us saying, "Hey, do you know a Rico dealer? I'm looking for a part on an old machine that I can't find anywhere else, or I'm looking for toner or a drum kit or something along those lines." So we had so many requests for that. We went to our web design company and said, "Hey, if we kind of planned a swap meet type function for our website to where our members could just take a spreadsheet, um, upload obsolete, excess inventory, things that they want to sell that they really can't use in their own business. Um, could we put that up there and just put it up there for sale?" So we created that, and that is there. We have so many members taking advantage of that. We have thousands of products listed on the swap meet. So if you're looking for something that's maybe out of the ordinary, or maybe you're looking to kind of gobble up some inventory that another dealer took in as a competitive replacement, that they're just looking to get rid of stuff, that's the place to go. Does not cost anything for the service. We don't charge a finder's fee or anything. The contact information for the selling dealer is on the swap meet. You can contact them directly, make your own deal for that product, and they'll ship it to you. So it's been used quite a bit amongst our members, but there's room for it to grow. We'd love to have everybody using that.
So that's amazing because, when we did this last time and discussed that, obviously just launching. So you literally had, I think, 2 or 3 companies on there with just a handful of, it was more of, does it work? Yes, it works.
Yeah, right.
And people were just, but it wasn't really being used yet. And I was a little hesitant to even ask about it because I didn't know if, how it was going. And so to
Yeah,
have thousands and to have an inventory like that, that's just fantastic. It's basically like you have your own inventory of just about anything you want, and it's all stuff that other companies are trying to get rid of, and it's probably taking
correct.
space in their, on their shelves. And what a great way for you to, help connect dealers like that to each other. We have a big event though right now that we want to talk about, right? So you guys, what was it, 87? You said you started 1987.
87, right?
So
Yep.
87, so that's at least, almost a million years old by my horrible math. And you hit a milestone this year with the rebates.
Yeah, we did. We're so excited. So our our best year ever for member rebates was 2018. We killed it that year, and we ended up returning a little over 900 grand in rebates back to our members for their 2018 purchases. 2019 was right there on its heels, had another great year, and then 2020 came along, and we all know the story of what happened there.
I don't remember, something crazy.
Yeah, some little something happened, but at kind of towards the middle to end of 2020, I thought, we'll never get back to being able to distribute 900 grand in rebates again. So, but 2020 ended up not being too bad, because even though our print partners were down, the managed services guys killed it, right? Everybody was working from home, and managed services purchases were through the roof. That continued into 21, had another good year in 21. But here comes 2022 and supply chain issues. And the supply chain issues hit the OEMs harder than it hits our print partners. So for the first time, a lot of our members are kind of forced to try out our print partners for the first time. And they do it and they think, hey, I should have been doing this all along. This has been great. So the first 2 quarters of 22, first and second quarter of 22, were our two best quarters in our history. Um, they were our two best quarters for a lot of our print partners since they'd been with IBPI, and it was all supply chain driven. That was followed up by very good third and fourth quarters. And Andy, I can't tell you how excited I am that we ended up um, returning $1 million in rebates to our members for their 2022 purchases. And I didn't think we would ever see that. It was one of the things I wanted to do wanted to achieve when I started at IBPI. And we finally hit it. So the checks are literally in the mail as we speak today. And we are returning a total of $1 million in rebates back to our members for their 2022 purchase.
That is absolutely outstanding. I feel like I should have had some champagne out or something.
Yeah.
That's what a monumental what a just incredible event for you guys, just to be able to reach that, reach that pinnacle like that. That's just I don't know where you go from here, but what really the thing to me that I think is really incredible is, when all of these, and I don't care what brand you have, all of them had issues. One of them had better issues. Some had better times than others, but
Yeah.
they all had issues, right? But the partners that are, the dealer partners, the ones that have been around forever, the ones that you guys have been working with, that you've collected and brought into this portfolio for your members, really stepped up, right? And these guys, these dealers were desperate. Their OEMs didn't have product. Their OEMs didn't have supplies. They didn't have parts in many cases. And so what are you going to do? Well, you're going to turn to IBPI. You're going to look through that catalog. You're going to turn to that swap meet, and you're going to find what you need. And you're going to, kudos to you for making that happen and hitting that milestone, $1 million in rebate checks. And last year, it was $800,000+. I thought that was incredible. I was blown away by that. But obviously hitting the million, that's nuts. That's amazing. And so you're mailing out the checks. We missed the chance to do it in Orlando this time. You guys didn't have that same meeting. You did this last year. So what's next for you guys? What do you have coming up?
So we have a couple of things coming up in the future. Is our IBPI Connect annual event taking place August 28th through the 30th in Boston. We are co-locating with BTA National. Looking forward to that. We will open registration in about 6 weeks to our members. Probably will sell out that event. I've had so many people tell me how excited that they are that we're going to Boston this year. I can't believe how many people have never been to Boston. So a lot of folks looking forward to that trip, and we're looking forward to putting it on at the end of August.
Boston's a great town. They're going to have a good time there. I've been to BTA events there in the past, and it's just it's a great spot. It's New England in the summer. It's a nice place. It's cool, a little cooler. So I'm excited for this. It's a good choice.
Yeah, we're excited about it too. One other thing that's happening, or has actually happened, that happened last week actually, was we added a new feature to our website, which by the way, we're doing all the time. If you haven't been on the IBPI website in a while, take 5 minutes, log in, poke around. You're going to see the swap meet that Andy talked about. You're going to see our vendor search tool, so you can find out if you're a Canon dealer and you want to know which IBPI members are selling Canon compatible toner, you can do that at our vendor search tool. One thing that we just added last week, though, was the ability to see your own purchases over the last 5 years from every one of our vendors. So we have a new purchasing tab on the website. So once you get logged in, click on that purchasing tab, and you'll see a nice little graph there of how many vendors you're buying from and what those purchase amounts have been over each of the last 5 years. So make sure you check that out as well.
So that's got to help with organization, right? I mean, to be able to keep track of your rebates, to see where you stand for the year.
Right.
And then I would imagine it gives you a little exposure to some of the other companies there as well, so that maybe you can learn. I don't know. Does it tie in? You had a tool last time that we talked about, the search tool. Is it have anything to do with that, or is this completely separate? The vendor search tool.
Yeah, it's completely separate. You can use the search tool to find an IBPI vendor. If you want to
Okay.
know who sells a Canon product or a Ricoh product, or if you just want to know, for example, hey, what does Pollock and Pollock sell? What does NA Trading sell? Then you can find that out through that vendor search tool. This is a totally separate feature of the website where you can go, and it's updated quarterly as we get our purchasing reports in, and you can see your purchases for every vendor over the last 5 years, including the current year. So it's just a more transparent feature for us to allow our members to see what they're buying from all of our vendors, on an on-demand basis. Used to have to kind of wait till we had our quarterly business review with you, but that's no longer. You can see that anytime that you want, going forward.
And it's
So,
only your stuff. You're not looking at
oh,
anybody.
right, no, 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 right. You're not seeing everybody's. You're only seeing the purchases for your dealership. Absolutely.
Does it show you total purchases, just aggregate for all
Yeah,
IBPI?
yeah, yeah. So it gives you your total purchases for every vendor, and then it totals it across that vendor, and then it also totals it down for the year.
Oh, wow. Very cool. So what a great way to find, a hot vendor maybe that everybody is using. And then you turn around and think, why am I not? What am I missing? Right. And
Yeah,
there you
right.
go. Now
That's
you have
right.
the ability to
Exactly.
contact them, but also contact them knowing you're going to get, good negotiated pricing and then a rebate check for your purchase that you were probably
Yeah,
going to do anyways.
we hope that kind of spurs along some transparency, and also some purchases for some of our vendors, and then that would of course increase rebates. Andy, I don't think you know this, but I don't know if everybody does. It costs $500 one time, not annually. It's one time to join IBPI, and there are literally dozens of IBPI members that have paid their $500 to IBPI at some point in the past, and they have uh, 6 figures in rebates from us over the years. So, I mean, I hate to say that it's risk free, but gosh, it's the closest thing I've ever seen to a risk free investment for $500, and you can potentially get 6 figures in rebates back over the years. Uh, Sounds like a no brainer to me.
For stuff you're already buying. You're already buying from
Yeah,
Pollock and from Clover and from Caton and from all the companies that we mentioned. So high
that's right.
tech and these are companies you're already doing business with. But now, you may get better pricing through IBPI, very possibly, depending on the size of your dealership. And then B, you're going to get a rebate at the end anyway. So, it's just why not? Why, for those of you that are not members yet, and there's very few of you that aren't, there's over 500 members, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
So this has been great. I love catching up with you. I think have a happy summer. We won't see you probably until August, but you never know. I do get down to your way every now and then.
Yeah.
So, I'll let you know if I'm down there, and hopefully
Please
we catch
do.
up. Hopefully
Please
we catch
do. I
up.
want to have you win some more money from me at the golf course, as you
Yeah,
always
I
do.
don't think I've ever won a dime golfing in my entire life. So I'll keep my day job, and you keep yours as well. Although
I will.
you are you do hit them pretty good. I'm excited to come see you next time. So um, we will talk soon. This is great, Mark. Thanks for catching up with us, and you have a great rest of your week.
Thank you, Andy.